Hey, how's it going everyone? Tazen here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a tags video response. I've been tagged by John from Gaming Through the Decades, awesome channel, link below, so please go check him out. And that is my top 5 nostalgic games. So no particular order for me because actually just getting 5 nostalgic games is really hard because I have so many that are quite nostalgic to me. So just narrowing down to 5 is already something, but then trying to work out like most nostalgic to, the 5th most nostalgic, that's too hard for me. So I'm just gonna be doing 5. Really cool thing I like about this for me is that I was really fortunately I was introduced or brought into gaming on the tail end of the 2D platforming for consoles and then the black and white for handhelds. So that was really fortunate for me because a lot of people my age, their first experiences were like the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64, so that was around the the beginning of the 3D era and stuff. I was really fortunate to be brought into before then with the Super Nintendo and even playing with the NES and stuff and things like the Atari type games, Space Invaders and everything. So it's really cool because I appreciate that a lot, and I appreciate those games a lot. And as a result, I do have a lot of nostalgia for those type of games, which you generally find from people who are maybe, at least 5 years older than me or so. But yeah, let's kick things off. So number 1, don't have it with me. I do have the game, but it's not here at the moment. And that is Donkey Kong on the original Game Boy. So this isn't Donkey Kong where you're playing as Donkey Kong. This is actually the arcade Donkey Kong that was made into a full game where you play as Mario and Donkey Kong kidnaps Peach and you have to go rescue her. So you play like 4 original arcade levels where Donkey Kong's throwing the barrels down sort of like the areas and you have to dodge or jump at the barrels, get up the stairs, and then it takes you into all these worlds and you go through all these stages through all these worlds and it's all puzzles, and you got to try and activate this and that and dodge this just to eventually get rescue Peach. And what's so nostalgic about it for me is that my father got me an original Game Boy when I was a kid, or my parents did, and my father used to go on like business trips and stuff overseas. And when he'd come back through the airport, he'd get like go to the electronic stores for me, or he did it. He came out one time from an electronic store duty free, and he had this game for me, and it was Donkey Kong. So I think it was the first game I'd ever gotten in my life. And the first game for the Game Boy, I'm just trying to think if I had any console. No, the Game Boy was the first console I had. So it was like, it brings a lot of memories back to me from my dad, getting this for me and stuff and being so excited and surprised. And then I used to just play it all the time. And I never beat the game. I always kept playing it really far into it. And I get to this level and I just couldn't beat it. And what I did when I was a kid is when I couldn't beat a level for too long, like I couldn't do it quick enough, then I would just erase the file, go back again. It was like, I don't know if it was like I was really trying to perfect or, see if I missed something that, a technique or anything. There was no internet or anything back then, or at least commercially available. So I just couldn't get through it. And yeah, I essentially forgot about that game. But then I've seen it pop up every now and then, and it just brings back so many memories. So for that reason, that is number 1 on my, or not number 1, but that's one of my 5 on my list. So moving on to number 2 now. This is also Game Boy, and I still have my original copy. And that is, let me just get it out if it will want to come out, Pokemon Red. This game is literally one of the reasons I have all these games behind me, RPGs and everything. So this, what even got me into anime to begin with was the original Pokemon. I got to see the first episode on ChiSV here, and when I saw that episode, I was hooked because before then I used to watch cartoons and stuff, but they were each episode of a cartoon, which generally, well, the plot was contained within an episode, and then all of a sudden, just this, and obviously the animation and stuff is different, but this Pokemon came on the first episode, and I was so mesmerized by the art style, the voice acting, and the fact that it was just like this first episode showcase that there's this massive story to come and you have to keep watching every episode and stuff. And I've always been fascinated with animals from such a young age that, I was so attracted to Pokemon for that reason. So that got me into anime. That's where it all began for me, from the Dragon Ball Z and so on and so forth. But with gaming, because of Pokemon, then I heard about Pokemon games coming out and I was really surprised and excited. I heard, oh my gosh, there's these different ones that, like, there's a red, there's a blue, and you can get different Pokemon in them. You can even catch Pokemon and you battle with them. And I'd never played an RPG or anything, so I think I nagged my parents to get it. I think I wanted the red one because of Charizard. Love dragons, and I just wanted to get Charizard. And I got it, and it was my first RPG experience. And ever since then, I've been, same thing, Pokemon, it got me hooked on RPGs. And, you know, how many years later, 2 decades later, I've got all these RPGs behind me. And I mean, yeah, so it brings so much nostalgia back. And I mean, about when I was 15, I then picked up my red version again and just played through it again, and I loved it so much. I played this game so many times. I've been it so many times. I had exploited everything you could exploit. I'd done it legitimately, you know, and yeah, pretty much just so many playthroughs, so many hours. It's a shame that you couldn't keep more than one save file because I'd always have to delete it. But for some reason, I just wanted to keep playing that game, and then, you know, selecting a different Pokemon each time. And yeah, very nostalgic game to me. So moving on to number 3. And that is Banjo-Kazooie on the N64. So I have talked about this briefly in my Nintendo 64 collection. And yeah, it was the first console game I'd ever gotten. So yeah, it was the first game I got for the N64. The N64 was my first console. And because of that, maybe that's the reason that's so nostalgic for me. I mean, the music, it brings so much memories back. Just the sounds that Banjo and Kazooie make, like, and I can't do them, but it's just such a good game. And I love the platform. I love the environments are so diverse. You know, you're going from snow areas to haunted areas. I mean, pretty much like Super Mario 64, you got this diversity, but I loved it was more of a, I guess maybe it's because you're playing with these two sort of animal characters, and I was so fascinated by animals. And it was the first game I got, and you know, it's just, yeah, another one of those games that really, when I hear or talk about or anything, it brings so much nostalgia back. And just hearing about Yooka-Laylee, I think that's when I realised this game is so nostalgic to me, Banjo-Kazooie, because Yooka-Laylee obviously brought a lot of memories back for Banjo-Kazooie, so looking forward to that game too. So yeah, that is the third game that is one of my most nostalgic. Moving on to number 4 now. Already spoke about this as well, but I have to say it again, and that is Final Fantasy VIII. So this is my first Final Fantasy game that I'd ever gotten. I had somehow played it or seen the opening clip or something before I got in it, and then when I saw it the second time, it was already I couldn't remember exactly where I had seen it the first time, and I just wanted to get it, and I got it, and it was, yeah, I think that was my next RPG after Pokemon, so it was my first sort of Japanese RPG on the console, and I love the game so much. And I know, yeah, there are some people that are sort of like, nah, they love it or they don't like it. I've mentioned that before, but you know, maybe it's because of that bias of it being my first Final Fantasy and stuff that I love it so much. And I love that there's so many side quests and stuff. I love the Triple Triad game, so fantastic. So definitely a very nostalgic game for me. And although there are other Final Fantasy games I've played more and I have a stronger emotional connection to, I definitely say this Final Fantasy VIII I have the strongest nostalgic connection to. Even just that opening music, I forget what it's called. I think it's Liberi Vitali, or I can't remember. You know, they do some sort of orchestra and choir, and it's just amazing. But yeah, that's number 4. And moving on to number 5, also another game I have but I haven't got with me, and that is Star Wars Rebel Assault on the PC. This is another game that I've been so passionate about Star Wars since I was a kid, and this is aside from all my gaming and sort of loves and stuff. So, but my dad knew that, and he got me Star Wars Rebel Assault and Rebel Assault 2 on the PC, and I used to play these on the what was it, Windows 95. And my dad got me a real old school joystick. Oh, it's old school nowadays, but he got me this joystick. So I remember just playing the game, and I remember one scene with the Millennium Falcon, and you're going through, I think you're on Hoth, and you're going through the Hoth caves and stuff, and trying to dodge ice falling down. There's one, you know, you're shooting TIE fighters in space, and there's one where you're dodging through all the asteroids in an asteroid belt. And using the joystick, it's just such a great experience. It was my first Star Wars game I'd ever played, and it was really capturing that sensation from the game. I believe there was a level in it, in one of them at least, where you're actually going through the Death Star and you got to shoot the torpedo into the Death Star. And I loved that I could keep going, but it had so much replay value. And I think in hindsight, when you look at it, It was probably like terrible controls, but at the time we didn't know any better. So for me, you know, that I just thought that nowadays if you play it, you think maybe the difficulty is partly due to terrible controls, but for me, I just saw that as that was just the difficulty of the game. So it was really challenging, but I love that. I love that challenge, and I remember there were so many levels that I couldn't get through, but I kept playing, I kept working through it, and I finally, you know, beat them, and I beat the game several times. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I haven't explored in the game. Maybe there are cheats and sort of little side things you can do. I've heard about it before, but internet wasn't a thing back then, so it was pretty much just yeah, give it your best and get through it. So yeah, that is my top 5 collection. As you can see, it's quite diverse, going from Game Boy to console to PC. They're all old games, at least for me anyway, in terms of, you know, my history games. There are a lot of other games I connect to and I would think of more, but then they don't have the nostalgic feel like these games. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm actually going to tag 5 of you, and I would love to sort of hear your responses if you do get the time or able to. So first off is Nostalgic Dan. Your name says it all, nostalgia. It'd be great if you could, yeah, also let us know sort of your top 5 nostalgic games. I know you love RPGs too, and you're really into a cool niche area of RPGs, at least in terms of those RPGs being available in the Western market. So really cool to see sort of the games that, you know, you relate to as your most nostalgic. Everyone, check his channel out below. I've got a link in the description. Really cool guy. There's a lot of cool collection videos on Japanese RPGs and stuff, and memories, etc. So definitely would like to see that. Second person I'm tagging is Red Legend, the legend himself. Please feel free to check his channel out. Link in the description below. It does a lot of really cool gameplay videos. Super Mario Maker, Super Mario 64, Zelda, those are really cool, like funny comedy sketches. But honestly, like your channel, Red, I could seriously have what's called like a Red marathon, and I could just spend hours watching your videos, and they're just so hilarious. So yeah, it'd be great to see like your most nostalgic games. I remember when you're playing through Super Mario 64, you talked about like you play that originally with your brother or something. So it's cool, yeah, to see sort of what your nostalgic games are and stuff. So yeah, number 3, Retro Reanimate, or R2. It'd be really cool to see sort of what games that you know, you relate to as most nostalgic. I know you're about 5 years or so older than me. Everyone, check his channel in the description below. He originated a channel a few years ago as Retro Reanimate. Now it's you'll find him under R2. You got a few channels now. R2 Does the World and stuff. But yeah, really cool to see what games are most nostalgic for you. And also Pixel Droid from Mech Ride, or the duo from Mech Ride. Would be cool sort of see what games that you guys, you know, are you most nostalgic. So please feel free to check them out below. Got a link in the description. And they do a lot of really cool stuff, especially VR. They've actually got some videos exploring virtual reality games with the Oculus. So really unique and definitely fun to check out. And last but definitely not least is Michael C. Now, Michael's channel is also quite new. I think he started around about the same time as me, and he does a lot of cool like pickups videos and finds, and I love watching sort of all the games that you pick up and even the prices that you get them and sort of how you break even and stuff. So yeah, everyone, feel free to check his channel out as well. Got the links in the description, but it'd be really cool to see sort of what your most nostalgic games are as well. So yeah, anyways guys, that's it for my 5 most nostalgic video games. Like I said, I could probably go on with about 10 or so that, you know, just that really capture that nostalgia feel, but if I had to put down the 5, those are the ones. So yeah, leave your comments down below, let me know what you thought. Even if I haven't tagged you, please feel free to do a video response to this, and you're more than welcome to put your link to that video in the description box of my video in the comment section. And everyone, you know, please feel free to check them all out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and until next video, stay spot on.